we'll start out here. These are leftover daffodils from springtime. I do have some ageratum seedlings in here. They're looking okay. They are recovering from spider mites, and some are bouncing back, others not so much. Have this enormous forsythia that I'm going to be cutting back soon. Here's one of her babies. And I hope the wind isn't too loud. I picked up these 3 spireas, this one and those 2, at the end of the season last year on clearance. I got a lot of plants at the end of the season on clearance. And a few more forsythias that I put in last year. Over here we have an elderberry and a rose of Sharon that are right next to each other. I'm trying to get the elderberry into a little bit more of a bush form so that they kind of are distinguished from one another. And underneath, kind of hard to see, is Alyssum Autumn Joy, one of my favorite plants. Over in this area, it's very much like a woodland, naturalized area. There's trillium over here. There is some bloodroot that looks like the groundhog got to it. That's fine. We have a bunch of lungwort over here. Another one of my favorites. So adorable. And a couple rows of Sharons. My neighbor has these beautiful viburnums. They are enormous and they're gorgeous. And in here's just a bunch of like daylilies. Little lilac shrub, and this is the area that I planted that was supposed to be groundhog proof plants, yarrow and echinacea. She ate this one. Oh well, that's fine. But she didn't eat these echinaceas. And I also put a catmint over here. She hasn't touched that one. And then these lettuce stumps have been growing back some, and then she just nibbles on those. And over here I have a limelight hydrangea that I got at the end of the season. I think it was like $10. And right here is a little crimson 9-bark. I got this and a bunch of other little starter plants from a shop on Etsy that I will link in the description. Around this maple tree there's a lot of weeds, but also I planted some petunias in here. These are the balcony petunia from Baker Creek. They're looking pretty good. This one looks like she's gonna bloom soon. I also have some larkspur. Some poison ivy. And this is the black bowls viola. some Alyssum up here that I grew from seed. And more of the same over here. And then I have one of the Proven Winners bubblegum supertunias. Looking gorgeous. And another little crimson 9-bark over here. And I did plant a baby viburnum that sprouted up in the wooded area over here. And then as we go back this way, this strip is gonna be a big focus this year because it's new. And excuse me, the wind. So this just has a lot of plants that I've gathered pretty much from around the rest of the garden. There's echinacea in here, some yarrow. I planted some aster seedlings in here that I grew from seed. There are a couple, these are Russian sage. And another sedum. I do have over here a beautiful Weigela that I got at clearance the end of the season, and she is blooming, starting to. I have a few more of these also to look at. And this is a pitiful sight. This rhododendron just completely eaten by deer. So, yikes breaks. All right, let's go over here. This area will be another focus this year. There's a lot of weeds in here right now. This is a little bird's nest spruce that I got on clearance. This is exciting. I planted gladiolas in here last year. They're not necessarily supposed to come back, but they are coming back. Very excited. I'm going to plant more in here too. This is a coneflower. Have a bunch of bee balm that some are coming back and some aren't. There's no signs of life on this one, but further down I'll show you one that is coming back. I have this beautiful peony that should be blooming any day. I'll give you a close-up of the buds. I read that when you see ants on there, it means they're getting ready to bloom and not to worry about it. So there they are. I have some more ageratum seedlings in here. These are oxeye daisy that just come up wild. And over here I have some bachelor's buttons that I grew from seed. The butterfly bushes, I have like 4 or 5 and none of them are showing life. So I'm still waiting. We'll see. Over here I have a bunch of salvia, just like a drift of it. And then I did pop some more ageratum seedlings amongst those. And more over here. And these are more aster seedlings. These tall ones are phlox. They bloom like purple. This is a bee balm that is coming back. Looking good. And at the end of this strip, that's what I call it, is some yarrow and a larkspur. Looks like that's the only one that didn't get completely swallowed up by the yarrow. Next we'll have a look in here. There's a ton of weeds over in that section. So I don't know if you guys are into the no mow May, but this is what I've decided to do for a little while anyway, is just to mow a border so I can walk around. And then I left the middle part long. That's for now. Over here I have a spirea. I believe this is a candy corn. And along the path I planted Jerome petunias from Baker Creek Seeds. So that's these. Have a little boxwood on both sides. And then I did plant a couple of bubblegum petunias here. One there, one over here. And over here I have some more Alyssum. I do have a lilac in the yard as well. There's some poison ivy and stuff over there, so we'll just look at it from a distance. This will be a garden one day. I have a little baby Weigela here. A little spirea here. Most of the little ones are babies from the bigger one that I showed earlier. Are you guys dealing with these things right now? From the, I guess they're from oak trees. It's like out of control. I have some autumn joy sedums on either side of the stoop here. And more hydrangeas. That's the other potentilla. And then I do have some ageratum seedlings in here. And I'll just show you what I mean. Like, some of them have bounced back really well, like this one. And others, not so much. Like, hello. Oh, there we go. This one you can see some damage on it. But I'm just going to keep taking off the damaged leaves. And hopefully it'll recover. There's another little baby spirea. And I do have some zinnia seedlings in here also. And another little baby spirea. This Weigela is in bloom. It's not fully bloomed out, but it is gorgeous and I love it. And then look at this baby. She is beautiful and she smells amazing. This is a lilac as well. And then I have a few roses over here. Two of them are looking okay. And then this one, not looking great. We'll give it a little bit more time. So this, our house is south facing, and when we moved in and I started gardening, obviously I did not know what I was doing. I just knew that hydrangeas were my favorite. So I planted them and that was about 10 years ago. And they do get hot in the summer. They do get sad, but only for a few hours in the afternoon on the worst days. So they really are doing quite fine in full sun. I just make sure they're really hydrated all the time, and they get enormous. They get like almost 5 feet tall, and I love them. I do have a plumbago in here. This is not hardy to our zone, but we're giving it a try anyway. And on this arch here, let's see, I have a couple of these little wooden planters. Right now they have pansies, some of the balcony petunias, and they also have some little pumpkin seedlings in there. And pretty much the same stuff on this side. And then I also have a clematis that's coming from the back of the fence, and we'll hopefully climb. So as we come through the fence, I have this little dwarf Alberta spruce. This over here is a little baby spirea that popped up out of nowhere. These are some irises that my neighbor gave me, and one of them is about to bloom. You can see that. And then I also planted in here some stock and some snapdragons, and in the front some more petunias. These are little chamomile seedlings, and I have an oregano up here. There's a little nasturtium, and I think I also have some agastache. Yep, some agastache seedlings in here as well. And this is a penstemon, another one of my favorites. She'll be blooming soon. She's gorgeous. And that's an autumn joy seedling next to her, and a clematis. I did collect seeds off this penstemon, and I got quite a few babies. So I planted some over here. There's some on the other side, and also later in the garden. There are a few little sweet peas in here. And on this side of the arch is another clematis. Hopefully they'll be blooming soon. There's more petunias in here. Another sedum and penstemon, and some babies as well. And then these are all Alyssum that I grew from seed. More petunias. There's actually Cosmo seedlings in here as well. They're just really hard to see. And there's an echinacea. And another little dwarf Alberta spruce. And this statue I got from TJ Maxx. My mom got for me. Isn't she amazing? She's so cute. I love it. I switched out all my planters the other day, so I took out all the like violas and pansies, And actually I planted them in the yard in shadier spots so they'll last a little longer. But I got my summer annuals in. So this is a Calibrachoa, but it's a double from Proven Winners. It's so cute. And then I put some Alyssum around it. And then in the window box, these Alyssum seedlings are from Hearts Nursery in Brooklyn, Connecticut. That place is amazing. I'm going to try to make a video the next time I go there. There's a lavender in the middle. I thought it would be nice to have it right outside the kitchen window so I can smell it. Oh, there's my cat. Can you see him? Pounce. Pounce. Hey, buddy. This is out of control. This has stock and pansies, but they were in full sun and they bolted. So that's what like these trailing things are, but I kind of like how it looks. This is like bursting at the seams. This dahlia I got from my sister-in-law and it's just gorgeous. Have you ever seen anything like more perfect than that? So I put her in there with some Alyssum and some Superbena amethyst from Proven Winners. And in this box I got, hang on, we got a wind coming. Heck of a day. So some more Alyssum, and this is the Nemesia. Absolutely gorgeous. And it smells delightful. Sweet Aromance, I think it's called. This is a peppermint. And actually, I thought I bought one and then I couldn't find it. So I bought another one. And then I found the first one. I planted it in this container over here with the Bacopa. And I didn't even notice it. And here's another one of the double Calibrachoa. And a petunia. I have a bunch of seedlings still to plant. Some zinnias, there's some tomatoes. They're pretty much hardened off, but I'm going to bring them inside tonight because we're going to get to 32 degrees. So I've got all my frost cloth and ready to go prepare for tonight. Over here, I have a few more containers. This is my cauldron one. It's looking a little sparse right now, but hopefully it will fill in and look kind of like a bubbling, brewing potion, you know? So there's a Superbena white in here and a Creeping Jenny. This is a dahlia that I got from my other sister-in-law for Mother's Day. Gorgeous. And these are looking okay. There's a few petunias in here and a jigsaw pepper. Not looking great, but I have a lot of those, so that's okay by me. All right. Let's see. Let's swing around here to the moon garden. This is another Bacopa. I have some lamb's ear. I'm sorry, some lamium here. This is an Abelia that I wasn't sure would make it through the winter, but it looks like it's coming back. This is a little cryptomeria. Some candy tuft here. More lamium. And that's a little blue juniper, blue star, I believe. This is the bird bath project that I'm going to be working on. This is a Russian sage. And I have a couple of white hydrangeas in here as well. One there. And one over here. And then I did plant some seedlings of white coneflowers. And also spotted bee balm. That's a white blooming plant. This is a pieris. And some Alyssum. And I also got a couple of Supertunia Vista whites. So hopefully those will all fill in really nicely. And these little guys, I have a ton of them. And I feel like such an idiot because I thought they were lamb's ear. I collected seed from them, from what I thought was a lamb's ear, and it's not. It's called a rabbit's ear, or a bunny's ear. It's rose campion. So it's similar to lamb's ear, but it's a little bit different. So anyway, I still like it. So we're going to keep them. Over here there is these heathers. They've been in bloom for about a month. Still looking good. Another one over here. Looks like it's just about all done. These hostas back here I have to move. This was a stupid idea. I don't know why I did this. They gotta come to the front. This is a blue Prince holly. And this beauty is an oak leaf hydrangea. This is my second or third season with it. Just gorgeous. I love this plant. Have a boxwood back there, and that's a lilac. Another hydrangea here. And I have two of these dappled willows. One there, one there. I love the foliage on these plants. It is so pretty. And the new spring growth comes out pinkish. It's just gorgeous. This is a little juniper, blue arrow, I believe, something like that. This is an azalea. And another lilac back here. This is another clearance find, Limelight, from the end of the season. And another gold mop cypress. Couple hydrangeas here. This here is the Heaven Sent Jacob's Ladder from Proven Winners, and I love it. I just got it. It smells so good. is a little boxwood. And then this tree, this is a dwarf Alberta spruce that we used as our Christmas tree inside, and it didn't do so well. So I tried to topiary it, and I thought it was dead, but it is putting on new growth. So I'm gonna give it the season and see how it does. It's not looking great. There's a few little snapdragon seedlings up here. This is just a little heuchera. Some more of the rose campion. Another heuchera back here, and then I planted some of those pansies that were in the containers. I planted some of those out here. And then there's also some more pulmonaria, the spotted plant, so cute. I love that one. And I have some ferns in this shade area as well. And a couple of hellebores. And a lot of hostas. And then on this side, this is another clearance hydrangea. This one was called like vanilla strawberry, I think. It's a panicle. And then this is a gorgeous Jacob's Ladder from Monrovia. It's so pretty. The variegated leaves. These periwinkle blooms are just gorgeous. So that was the shade. This is mostly shade garden. And then it goes into, this is full sun over here. The moon garden. And let's swing over to the fairy garden. Have a whole lot of sweet peas in here, right along the lattice. They're getting big. It's nice. They are getting nice and big. And then under this little, this is a weeping cherry. I planted more of the penstemon seedlings. And there's also a few lavender in here. I had to replace some of them because I did not know what I was doing when I was pruning. And I cut them way back and some of them died. There's a catmint over here. And a couple of forget-me-not seedlings as well. And then I also planted some agastache seedlings in here. There is a hardy geranium at the base of this lattice right here. This is a rock cress. Sorry about my shadow. There's a little pulmonaria over here. And in the fairy garden itself, or I guess the fairy village, there's some creeping phlox, some violas, pansies. There's another hardy geranium back there. And there's a little lilac tree, and if you look close, There's a frog in there. A toad. I love how he's huge because he reminds me of Pan's Labyrinth. If you guys have seen that, you know what I'm talking about. These are stonecrop sedum. And look how pretty this like variegation is. It's so pretty. There's one there and one here. And then the rest of this is mostly pansies, violas, snapdragons, stock. It's mostly cool seedlings. And they should all be blooming really soon. And then this is my first blooming balcony petunia. I'll give you a shot from the other side in a minute. Isn't she pretty? And I also have a little variegated boxwood here. Cute. And there are some zinnia seedlings in here as well. And then these ones that look like grass are dianthus. I have two different kinds. There's rose crown, which are these ones, I believe. And then in the spooky mix, which are these ones. There's also like a couple of rogue larkspur in here. You can kind of see them. One there, one there. Okay, so let's swing over to this side now. There's not a whole lot in this area. Sedum Autumn Joy. There's a couple hydrangeas in here. There's a couple poles in here that we can't get out. A lilac. And another one. This hydrangea may have died. It's the only one that doesn't have any growth on it yet this year. And then this is an elderberry that is growing very quickly. And another little gold mop. Or it might be a lemon thread. I get those two mixed up. On this side, I have another little blue star juniper. I believe that's right. If not, I will fix it. I put some blue spice basil seedlings in here, as well as some zinnias, some cosmos. The blue spice basil is to deter the animals because they don't like the smell of that one. So I'm hoping by mixing it in with the other flowers that they will leave them all alone. There's a hydrangea here. I haven't planted up this area. I like to leave some spaces blank so I can buy plants. This bed has mostly cool vegetables in it. There's peas, lettuce, spinach. There are some strawberries, but they didn't do such a good job coming back this year. And then there's a few nasturtiums in there as well. This is a Colorado yarrow with the ferny leaves. There's some zinnia seedlings in here. And further down there are some bachelor buttons. That's these ones. And these are salvia. And there's a bunch of weeds in here too. These gorgeous things are sedum. They have very bluish hue to them right now, but they turn into more of a red. And I just love them. They're gorgeous. And echinacea. I had a little goshiki false holly here, and it was only hardy to zone 7. I tried to protect it over the winter, but it died. Very sad. A sad death. So I need to put something here. A little evergreen. Because this guy looks like he's just sitting in the middle of nowhere. He's supposed to be under a tree. In the raised bed, I do have peppers planted in here. They're doing all right. I know it was too early, but they're doing all right. These are green beans that are coming up. I planted a whole bunch of stuff in here and didn't label anything, so I know that there is beets and wasabi radish and leeks, and I'm not sure what else. Oh, broccoli and broccolini, which I love. And then over there is the herb spiral. I made a video about that. I'll link it. I don't have much going on over here, but this is where the tomatoes are going to be. And these are the pumpkins. They are in the ground already, yes. If they don't make it through this situation tonight, then that's fine. I'll just replant them. They don't take very long to get this big, so I like taking chances. There's also some corn popping up in here. I did 2 rows, and then I'm in a succession, so just in this middle area. Grow them together with the pumpkins. Have a couple of zinnia seedlings in here, a couple of petunias, and a bunch of yarrow. These little guys are suffering. These are Fire Chief, I believe, arborvitae, and they were sitting in way too much water over the winter time, and I think they're gonna bounce back, but they don't look great right now. There's a pumpkin in there. These are Jack B. Littles, the ones that I put on arches, because they're tiny. Over here I planted some more of the pansies that I pulled from the boxes. This is a really pretty shady area. So I put some there and some on this side, and also a columbine. This area is new. There's another lemon thread, I believe. And this is the last clearance hydrangea that I picked up. Oh my god. The tree sounds like it's going to fall. That's the other arborvitae. See how it's kind of not looking so good right there. This is a dwarf rhododendron. I had it in the front in full sun. I bought this plant when I knew nothing about plants. And this year I was sure that it finally died, but I moved it back here into a shadier spot, and it is putting on some new growth, so I'm gonna give it some time. Okay, sorry about that. I've been having a time trying to get this video done between the wind and then my phone is telling me I don't have enough room. So over here there is a few coneflower and some ageratum seedlings. That's that. Some more autumn joy sedum, and then I just have that repeated. There is a butterfly bush at the end that actually I'm not sure. There's something growing at the base. Let's see, is that part of the plant or is that a weed? I think that's, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, over here is another dwarf Alberta spruce. The new growth on it is so cute, makes it really fluffy looking. I love that. And then I have another Weigela over here. This one doesn't have a bunch of blooms on it like the other one did, or the other ones do. So I'm not sure. This was another clearance find. And then I have another little Weigela next to it. I'll be planting, I think I'm going to put gomphrena in here along the edge. And then this area isn't really my main focus, so it's not ideal yet, but hopefully it'll get better looking. I think I'm going to try to make these forsythias a little bit lower profile, so start taking them down on the top and letting them grow up from the bottom. There's some daylilies in here and a bunch of jewelweed. I'll probably pull some of that out. It grows pretty much all the way along the fence line and a lot behind it. So I'll probably pull these ones out. There's a couple of bee balms in here that are coming back from last year. And a yarrow. And then I have a couple more forsythias. These are like borderline invasive here, so I'm not sure that I love them. I might gradually switch out to something else. There's a little rhododendron over here that snapped. Someone dropped a branch on it, but it's still alive. I see a pretty little flower in the woods. Let me show you. Right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's swing around here. I think we're pretty much done. I have a little euonymus right here, and then in this, just along the edge, I have some spotted bee balm planted. That's another plant that the deer and critters don't really like the smell of. I'm trying to put those things around the garden so they don't bother me. So I want to thank you for bearing with me through all the noise. Now we have a chainsaw. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully we'll have more to look at soon. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you are into this sort of thing. Bye. I also have some potatoes growing in here. These are doing great.